Are you ready to model?
Yeah. I was born ready for that. Put the camera on me, baby. The kid likes the lens.
We're gonna jump right into it. Hi, I'm Nesrin Danan, and this is a peek into my life as a celebrity photographer. And this is VIP. Little leaning back, amazing. That's like the angle that I needed. Yeah. Today I'm shooting with G-Eazy, who is an amazing rapper. I'm sure you know who he is. And also a friend of mine. How are you? Right now, we're dropping off film at Gold 1 Hour Photo, AKA my favorite place to get film developed. I'm here every week, usually Monday mornings, because I shoot a lot of film over the weekend on a Monday morning. The line here, I'm not even kidding, it's like around the block. It's like going to the club, except it's 10 a.m. and it's just photographers. I never shoot work on film. I feel like that's what separates it and keeps it like fun for me. I just take photos of my friends when we go out. I started this series called Friends on Film. As soon as Instagram introduced the carousel option, like years ago, to post multiple photos, I would just post 10 film photos at once. Currently, I'm using my dad's old Kodak film camera from like the late 80s, early 90s. This retails for like $8 on eBay, and I get so many compliments. It reminded me of these film albums that my parents had of me and my sister, like growing up. And so for me, this is like, okay, the digitized version of that. Some of them are like really crazy. They'll be like, how were you at a barbecue with Michael B. Jordan? That one, people did lose their minds. This was like a pool party that I had with some of my friends a couple weeks ago. There's G-Eazy at an event. So today is not that busy of a day for me. I do have a shoot later though. I'm gonna shoot with G-Eazy. He's someone I have known like basically my entire photo career. And other than that, I think I'm just hanging out with MTV. All right, so this is where we're shooting today. We're not doing a lot of lights and equipment, really simple, easy camera setup. And this is what I like bring with me on just an everyday photo shoot. I shoot with a Canon 5D Mark IV, and my two like go-to lenses, especially for natural light stuff and something like what we're shooting today, Canon 24-70, and I have a Moment Cinebloom filter that I'm gonna put on this. And then my other favorite lens is the Sigma Art 35. If you're a portrait photographer and you don't have this lens, I don't know what to tell you. I am convinced that it's not your gear, it's your eye, and it's what you're doing with your gear. So I have taken some of the most amazing photos on like the stupidest little setups. Everyone's like, oh my God, what camera are you using? I was like, girl, the same one I use for literally everything. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have you back up a little bit and kind of tilt your face towards the window, towards the light. Perfect, right there. I would describe my photography style. I always say it's like you were there, but better. I don't do a lot of extra lighting and post-production and like all sorts of stuff. I really do color correcting and I play with presets and color and stuff, but in a very lifelike way. I just like to keep the moments as I saw them, but a little more vivid and like interesting. Some very classic like studio vibes, you know?
Yeah, these are fire.
Oh, this is cool. I'm from Corvallis, Oregon. I didn't love it when I was growing up, but now I'm very thankful that I'm from there and got to like run around in the woods and all that. I was always really creative growing up. I loved drawing, I loved painting, and that was kind of like my thing before I decided I really wanted to do photography. I also used to love bugs when I was a kid. My parents really wanted me to be an entomologist. They still push it all the time, yeah. And look at me. You're gonna like these. Like, that's so good.
Yeah, that's so fire.
That's fire. I was lucky enough to go to a high school that had a darkroom, and I feel like that's where I really got into taking film photos, developing my own negatives and prints. Maybe do the green sweater next.
Should've brought my camera.
I know, you should have.
We could reverse roles and then I could do a photo shoot of you.
Okay, so we're playing with this light. Yeah, it's a sleigh, it's a serve. Love. We had first connected over Twitter. He had posted that he wanted to shoot with photographers or something, and someone who had followed me on Tumblr had been like, oh my God, like I would love to see you shoot with G-Eazy, and we were just talking in, I think like Twitter comments. Then a couple weeks later, I was in LA and I was shooting a party somewhere and I saw him, and he was like, oh my God, you're the girl from Twitter. And I was like, That is me. Hey. The first ever photo I took of him, it was like him like looking at me across the room. And then from there, every time he was in Portland, I would just shoot with him. We would like go out, get food, go vintage shopping. It was super fun. That's the other thing I like about shooting with you is I don't have to tell you what to do, really. We just have fun with that. Do that again where you're kind of like this. Look at him, carrying his own gear.
I've been in front of lenses, in front of cameras since I was a baby. My mom was a photographer, and to me, you know, it comes down to the eye. That angle,
Yeah.
You know, how to capture somebody from what angle and what expression and what emotion that you're really like, you know, finding, and how, you know, finding the light and what you're trying to tell about that person through a photograph. I've been working with Nesrin for about 10 years, and you know, from the jump, it was her drive and her dedication. You know, reaching out and just being brave, especially as a female photographer, and you know, wanting to shoot in music and get in these concerts and get in these spaces and get, you know, around these artists, and you know, her bravery and her boldness, and then her eye, but also her kind of like sense of color. That's what always stood out to me. The way she would compose a photo, and you know, the other things that she would find within it, and to balance the color out. And I mean, one of the greatest things about, I think, creativity and getting to work, you know, in the arts professionally and making a career out of it is like, you get to do what you love. And then when you get to collaborate, like for me, collaborating with a photographer, it's like two people that both love what they do and have fun at it, and it's just a genuine vibe. You know, what's better in life than to love what you do and get to do it with people that you care about?
Oh my God. Gas me up.
What's up?
That was so nice. He was one of the first artists to really give me behind the scenes, like backstage access. And that was something that I really appreciated and cherished. I love music photography. I love touring. Just being able to travel, wake up somewhere new every day, and have like a subject that I'm excited to shoot every day. That's like what's fun for me. I think growing up in like a smaller town, we literally had one concert every year, and it was at Oregon State University, and it was like free, and it was like the one thing of the year. So when I was in college, I was like living in the middle of Portland in the city. I would just hit up literally anyone and everyone that I could. And every time artists would come through town, I was kind of the only photographer like doing that in my area. And that gave me like a leg up. I think that's another thing that people are always like, oh, you have to like live in LA or New York to like make it in like music photography. No, you don't. Wait, do kind of one more like this. So body facing the window, but face over your shoulder towards me. Yeah, just like that. Oh, imposter syndrome is huge. Being a Black woman in like a primarily white male dominated space, every single day I'm like, oh my God, like I didn't get that job, but this mediocre white man did. And it's a lot of self-doubt. And I feel like it's inevitable kind of in any artistic industry that you're in. There's always gonna be someone doing it better, or there's always gonna be someone getting those jobs that you were really excited about. But you know, I like to work with people who are excited to work with me and appreciate me and like put me in those spaces where I feel like valued. I've kind of learned to seek out those places, and I'm like, if I'm feeling any type of way about it, I think it's not for me. Oh my God, money. We love it. Okay, we're doing a Polaroid. We're doing a Polaroid. Leaning up against the wall.
Really moody.
I feel like shooting with G is so easy, and again, him being someone I've known for 10 years, I know how he likes to look in photos, I know his angles, he knows his angles, he knows how I shoot. I feel like it's a great like symbiotic relationship. Wait, these are cute.
No smiles.
Oh, I love the smile. Amazing. I think it's so valuable to shoot as many things as you can, take every opportunity that you possibly can, kind of like find your niche and find like what you're actually good at shooting, what you actually like to do. Don't box yourself in too fast. That's the one.